Welcome back, you guys. This is your stimulus package update. This is your second stimulus check update for Monday, July the 13th. So let's get into your stimulus updates today. In this video, we're going to cover several things. Number one, July 15th this week. July 15th falls on a Wednesday. So this week, that's when the IRS taxes are due. Any of you guys who haven't gotten your taxes done, keep an eye on that. I know you guys would rather I be telling you about the IRS economic impact payments going out this week instead, but you know, it is what it is. The IRS confirmed that they're not extending the tax filing deadline beyond July 15th. So, you know, while we don't have any confirmation on stimulus checks going out yet, we will be covering how to get the $800 per week thanks to the CARES Act. But first, I'm going to share with you why I don't think the $40,000 income cap on the second stimulus check will fly and why we've got nothing to worry about. Now, as usual, I've got a lot to cover today, but before we get into it, I want to say welcome back to all my subscribers. And for all you guys who are new here, we cover all things personal finance, investing, how to make more money, and how to generate multiple streams of income. So if you're interested in that, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now, of course, we're all anxiously awaiting to see, you know, if Congress is going to approve a second round of stimulus checks. And last week on June the 6th, Senate Majority Leader Mitch MCConnell, he made a reference to a $40,000 income cap for the next round of stimulus checks. These few sentences that he shared about the $40,000 income cap have literally gotten so many people worked up. And, you know, the fact of the matter is that it's not even official. So, you know, most of us were hoping that another $1,200 stimulus check would be mailed out sometime at the end of this month, if not the next. But after these words, you know, many people were wondering if they would even qualify for the next stimulus check with this reduced income cap limit. We've heard that the focus from the Senate's perspective is to target people who have been hit the hardest during the pandemic, and that the second round of stimulus checks would be much more targeted. They also said that they would be focusing on people who have much lower incomes and who are unemployed. But when Senate House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was asked about this, she had a completely different perspective. Nancy Pelosi said, "I don't know where the $40,000 came from." She also said, "I think families making over $40,000 probably need assistance, depending on their situation." I feel like before setting any kind of income limitations, you have to take into account the different economies that exist in the United States. The average income being earned in New York City, for example, you know, versus a small town in Alabama is going to be drastically different, not to mention their cost of living. If we took San Francisco, for example, a single person earning $60,900 or a family of four earning $87,000 per year would be defined as being within the very low income limits, according to the U.S. Office of Housing and Urban Development. Now, that's just above the poverty level in San Francisco, and this is significantly less than the $40,000 income cap that was previously discussed by Mitch MCConnell. So, you know, how could you possibly just make a blanket limitation of only $40,000 across the entire country? So based on Nancy Pelosi's response, as well as the vast differences in incomes versus cost of living across the country, not to mention the side conversations that we've heard regarding the difficulty in implementing a $40,000 income cap, I personally think that, you know, that this won't happen. That's, you know, just my personal thoughts. But what do you guys think? You know, drop me a comment below and, you know, let me know what you think about, you know, the $40,000 income cap and whether or not this will actually be a thing or not. Now, after reading tons of comments about students and parents being left out of the CARES Act, a stimulus package in terms of the stimulus checks themselves, I think it's pretty messed up. But I've actually got some good news for you guys. This is good news for college students as well as parents of college students that are struggling during these tough times. So when the CARES Act was passed in March, the stimulus checks helped many people, but the PUA program was also created and the unemployment benefits eligibility was expanded for many people that were impacted by the fallout caused by the pandemic. Now, this program provides unemployment insurance to those who generally would not qualify, such as independent contractors and part-time workers. Now, according to the Department of Labor, the program does not restrict eligibility for full-time students working part-time. So according to Andrew Stetner, a senior fellow at the Century Foundation, many states are actually providing unemployment benefits to college students through the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, which is the PUA program. So, basically students can receive an average of $190 per week in core benefits depending on their state, plus an extra $600 per week in unemployment assistance. Now that's almost $800 per week on average, and more than $800 per week depending on your state's core unemployment benefit amount. So while college students were largely excluded from receiving stimulus checks, at least college students have until the end of July to apply for pandemic unemployment assistance benefits, which are paid weekly and are potentially much more valuable than the one-time $1,200 stimulus checks that was sent out from the CARES Act. So drop me a comment below if you are a college student or if you have a child that's a college student. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking, man, I wish I knew about this sooner. Well, I've got more good news for you guys. So for those of you guys who are able to meet the eligibility requirements, you can actually receive pay that's backdated all the way from April through at least July of this year. But, I want to advise you to act fast because the PUA benefits are scheduled to expire on July 31st. So if you want to get your money, you might want to check the eligibility requirements and apply now. Now, if you happen to know of any parents who have students, or you happen to know any students that, themselves that can benefit from this information, feel free to share this video with them because, you never know how much you could help someone during these tough times. Now, after the extra $600 per week unemployment benefit expires at the end of July, students can continue to receive the core benefits of about $190 per week on average. Now, the other cool thing about this program is that, if you're a student or you happen to know a student that lost their job, or even if they received a job offer, but then that job offer got pulled back because of the pandemic, you should apply as well. So, all right. So basically qualified college students that were working part-time or, were supposed to be working part-time should receive a core benefit, which is basically the state's unemployment amount that's calculated based on the last year's tax returns, or at least 50% of the median weekly benefits for your state. So since the amount of average income amount will vary quite a bit from state to state, we'll just take the average median weekly benefit, which is $194 across the country. So the eligibility for college students to be able to qualify for these benefits seems unbelievably wide open. So for example, let's just say you're a college student and your job closed down for whatever reason during the pandemic, or you were diagnosed with the virus, or maybe you were just experiencing the symptoms of it, or even someone you live with. If they had symptoms or were diagnosed with the virus, you could actually qualify for these benefits. So, as a matter of fact, even if you had a job lined up that you never actually started because you couldn't start due to the pandemic for whatever reason, then you could also qualify for these benefits as well. So here's another scenario. A lot of college students have kids, and if they couldn't get childcare lined up due to the pandemic, they could also be qualified for these unemployment benefits as well because they didn't have childcare. Let's also throw out this scenario. So let's say you had to travel for your job and traveling was no longer an option due to the pandemic. These are all reasons that are linked to the pandemic and are legitimate reasons for why you should be able to qualify for these unemployment benefits. I just wanted to throw some examples out there because you would be surprised how many different reasons that could be linked to being unable to work directly or indirectly because of what's going on due to the pandemic. Students can apply for these unemployment benefits at their state's unemployment insurance office, but remember, these benefits are going to be expiring July 31st. So, you want to get in there and apply as soon as you can. Well, that's all for this update, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching to the end. And if you found any value in this video, please give this video a like. It lets me know that this information was helpful to you guys. I'll be keeping you guys updated on all the latest in financial news, tips on how to grow your income, and providing investment strategies. So be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.